Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I have maybe had about 3 hours of sleep. I know I got 1 hour of sleep this morning. Today was my boyfriend's birthday, so we spent all day at Knott's, got food. It was a lot of fun, but I worked night shift and I went to sleep around like 5:30 and woke up at 7 and have basically been awake since. I like slept on the car ride home, but that's about it. So I'm just getting this recorded for you guys, and so hope you enjoy. And without further ado, let's hop into this, shall we? Here's preparation. Trial. All right.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, to begin with...
We already know who did it!
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it! You killed them!
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it, and all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling.
But the
It
handwriting
points
doesn't
to
match.
you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
1, that is not his style at all. Like, robot, not his style. 2, he doesn't seem like the arts and crafts kind of guy. 3, the handwriting on the blueprints does not match his. He has really nice handwriting, and that looks kind of junk.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know!
Is Hiro really the killer? Or before anything else, we have to make that clear. That's Hiro's message.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough.
No, that's wrong.
Great.
Are we sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared.
See? Really nice
The
handwriting.
handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Like I said, the handwriting was way, the handwriting was way too messy. I'm sorry. I have a concussion. It's hard.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
What?
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
And of course he passes it
So?
on.
Who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
Suspicious individual in question was the one that must have been in the suit. I still think it was Hiro.
I got it!
He's the only one who could fit.
Other than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit, and we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it!
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption! And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around!
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body. It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
The dolly. Thing that we're used to move Taka's body. They must have been. Thank you.
I got it!
I panicked for a second. There's still one more thing. The things that were used to move Taka's body. They must have been.
I got it! They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
What's with the
So,
attitude?
let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room, and then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
No! The wheels are
She's
covered in
raised
blood.
an objection. How do you respond?
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway.
There was blood on the wheels and smudges in the
We
blood.
all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
Well, I never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean, but maybe I can change your mind. If I can explain to them why the dolly must have been moved, the equipment to the repository. New element has been added to the bullet time battles. Would you like to hear more? Absolutely. Let's talk about reloading. Starting with the next bullet time battle, we're going to add one more ingredient to the recipe. On the bottom of the screen and underneath the tempo marker, you'll see ammo count. Up until now, there hasn't really been a limit to how you destroy your opponent's statements. But from now on, just locking and pressing the left mouse button won't be enough to handle them. Now it will cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements, no matter how locked on you are. However, you can reload it by pressing the tab key. Just like locking on, you have to press the tab key in time with the tempo marker. Basically, just remember, the tab key now has a function along with the RBM and LBM buttons. You will automatically reload at the start of the fever time, and your ammo will not decrease. Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, you won't have to reload at all. In which case, you can ignore everything I just said. Well then, good luck and have fun.
You have it wrong! I cannot agree! You are a fool. So pathetic. will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch.
I'm really easy. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say. Oh, we've already come to the end of the debate. This was...
Is...
Yes.
I refuse to give up yet!
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. I cannot agree.
This should prove it!
I fucking hated that. I don't like that one.
If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here. When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Jeez, does Celeste really hate me that
Well,
much?
anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
I don't like when they
Yeah.
make me do that.
The subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the... If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
If I look at how the body was moved, it will be clear the person in the suit couldn't have done it. What does that mean by that? Make your argument. Robo Justice costume.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
She said you can't bend over in it. Or somebody
Then
did.
you could push the dolly no problem. So the killer just crouched down and carted the body off to the repository.
If you accept everything we just said, then you must realize that whoever was in the suit couldn't possibly be the culprit.
Sorry, I don't think I realize anything.
They said you can't bend over in the suit. But would anybody wearing the suit have been able to really speak down like that? No.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to
Do is bend over.
No,
Can't bend over in that suit.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together, remember?
I'm as blind as a bat in here. I can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you could go anywhere in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. It seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
Ooh, yeah, good thinking on my part. My memory's not great right now, but yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
There's absolutely no chance the body costume was taken off Move Body because you can't take it off by yourself.
Got it! I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember,
I don't know what's up with this thing. I can't actually get it off. A little help? Why would you make something you can't take off yourself? I didn't make this stupid freaking costume. There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting it off. It looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. I don't think we really have a choice. Let's help him.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Why are they sending me so much VTO?
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
if he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right!
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How did you get hurt? The guy hit me. What guy? Robo Justice, or what I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hero, without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second!
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion.
Yeah, see, she's... I like her. She's not about to let an innocent man die. Because if I remember correctly, this is... it wasn't him. I don't think it was. He also seems way too concerned.
Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, The truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo-Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo-Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
What's wrong? I saw a shadow, something moving around at the top of the stairs.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
and then,
Huh? What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
at that point we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor, to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising.
Hifumi's body has disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
This can't be happening. Are we hallucinating this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
The contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to uncover the truth of this case, I have to find them no matter what. Make your argument. File 3.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
No.
What makes you say that?
Taka's watch stopped at 6.
Because
He
of
was
the
killed
numbering
first.
of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
Yes.
See? So it's obvious Taka
But his
came
watch
after.
stopped at 6. Were they really used in that order? I don't think so.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's
Wait.
true.
How do I absorb? Focus gaze, concentration, hold spacing, concentration. And fast forward. Weak spot. Character text appear in yellow. Firing truth bullets. Loading truth bullets. Quick select if you press. Truth bullets flashback. Try to respawn and then hold down the left mouse button. You can use weak spot as a temporary truth bullet. Okay.
While Taka's death came from a...
Wait, how do I fast forward? Hold down the control key. Okay.
See? So it's obvious Taka came.
Okay.
So, regarding Taka's death,
So
I
it was. Hold down the left mouse button. You can use the weak spot as a temporary truth bullet. As a hold down.
or perhaps it was after?
We already know what Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of
So
Justice
the numbering
Hammer 4.
should contradict
See?
the order.
So it's obvious Taka came after.
Those hammers were numbered, but were they really used in that order?
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in.
No, that's wrong.
The order of the number hammers is wrong, so we don't know the order.
Hold on.
Because he would have died
There's
first.
no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Evidence that proves that Taka was killed before Fumi. There's something that relates to what time he must have died. Watch. Wrist watch. Yes. Nobody's here. Nope, we're doing that again.
Is Is this really the end for all of us?
No, we're trying again. Yes.
I refuse to
I
give
know
up
it's
yet.
wristwatch. Wait. Shoot the wrong letters during the Hangman's Gambit. You'll take damage if you determine what's right. Hold down the space key. Concentrate. I have to shoot some of them more than one. I need W. Swatch. All right.
Now I understand.
There we go.
I got it. Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night,
Hey, you! How long were you gonna keep us waiting? Taka's irritated voice pierced as he started pointing at the wristwatch. It's almost 10 o'clock. You know that bedtime for little boys and girls.
so if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder.
In the case of Taka's murder, yes.
But all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
Bam. Girl makes a good point. Girl makes a good point. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, remember to hit like and subscribe, because I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're this far in, you have to be enjoying something. Or maybe you just need to see how to do it. That's fine too. Anyway, won't take up any more of your day. I hope you had a good day, and I'll see y'all next time.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead